Sometimes no's are actually serendipitous grace wrapped in this package labeled painful rejection or failure, right? And think about so many of the no's that you've had in your past. And think about what meaning have you assigned to those no's? Have you been like, oh, that no means my idea is never gonna work, or that no means like I'm destined to be alone and never be in a relationship, or that no means nobody wants me, or that no means I'm not good enough, or that no means, X, Y, Z, right? But here's the thing, when you reframe the no's, it's so powerful. And you have to reframe them in a way where you know it's true. So I go into an entire masterclass on how to do this in Worthy. There's a whole chapter on it that literally almost was its own book. We were so close to just making that a separate book. I'm like, oh, but I want it out now, so it's in here. This is so huge, you guys, because as human beings, we let our no's or our past, what we perceive as our past rejections and failures, stick to us, and we let them define us often, and we let them keep us stuck from going after the thing. And what it is, it's the meaning that we're actually attaching to what those no's meant. It's the meaning we're attaching to what those no's meant. So when you attach a meaning to a past no or a past rejection that can be, so painful, we don't want that feeling again. So it keeps us from going on the dating app. It keeps us from telling that person we want to be more than just friends. It keeps us from launching that idea out in the world, or sharing our art on social media, or trying to take our business to the next level with a big risk, right? Because we're afraid of the no's, the failures. So I open this with a question for you, which is, what if, every no that's ever happened to you is actually serendipitous grace happening for you? And it just happens to be in a package labeled painful rejection, right? And when you think about that, what happens is you start realizing, a no isn't too bad. A no isn't failure. A no doesn't mean I don't have what it takes. A no is just serendipitous grace that I'll learn later why it happened. Maybe it doesn't make sense now. Maybe you tried so hard to get that dude to like you, or to get that relationship or that marriage or whatever it was to work out, and you just don't know why it didn't, and you're feeling rejected or like a failure, whatever it might be. But later you always learn why, right? So I just want you to think about one no, and you could pause this video and write it down if you want. One no or failure or rejection that's happened to you in the past. Maybe it was recent, maybe it was years ago. Just think of one no right now, and I want you to write down how it honestly made you feel when it happened. And then I want you to write down, what story have you told yourself about that no, right? What meaning have you attached to that no? I want you to write that out. Write it out. Be super, super honest. It's just you and me. No one else is going to see it. You can throw it away at the end of this. Write out that no. Like, what did it really mean for you? What story are you telling yourself now? Maybe it's a past relationship, or it's a friend that just totally didn't show up for you the way you show up for them. Maybe it's a past perceived failure in your business or in your career. Maybe you went for the job hard and you didn't get it. Whatever it might be. What is that story you're telling yourself about it, right? And then I want you to fast forward to where you are now. And you could do this now, or you could do this in the future. But I want you to think back, right, to that let's take a relationship. Think back to that past relationship you wanted so bad to work out. Maybe it was one that your friends and family were like, run. But you're like, your heart's like, oh, it's the one, right? You wanted it so bad to work out. Think about a past thing that didn't work out. And now look where you are in your life right now. And do you see yet why it didn't? I mean, a couple examples, I can think back to so many rejections along the way of building It Cosmetics for my living room. And they were rejections that were hard and things I wanted so bad. I wanted a retailer to say yes. I thought if I could just get into, stores now, then everything would be so much better. Or if I could just get a yes from this, big beauty editor to be featured, or whatever it might be. When I look back over the last 10, 15 years of all the rejections, now I can see, thank God they happened. Because either now I didn't know what I didn't know back then. Now I know, oh, my infrastructure wasn't built out enough to support that store really well and be able to be a top brand so that we didn't get kicked out. Or, the product development process wasn't so rock solid yet. If we would have got that big feature in the magazine, we wouldn't have been ready. We wouldn't have been ready to make the right impression with customers yet. I mean, it's always a thing where you look back and you realize things are always happening for you, not to you. And why this is so important, right? And maybe I can think of a number of past relationships. I remember a guy that I was dating and I wanted it to work so bad, literally so bad. And he was an alcoholic, like my father who raised me was, and all these other things. But I loved him, and he was hot, all the things. He was a pro athlete. I just thought all the things. I look back now, I am like, thank God it didn't work out. Thank God. My whole life would be so different. I'd be living my life worried every single day, feeling unseen, unappreciated every single day, trying to make somebody like me every single day. But at the time, all I knew was that it didn't work out. I wanted it to, and I was devastated. So my point is this, that I had to learn how to reframe no's in building my business. I could have never started a business in my living room, built it to $1 billion company, had I not learned how to reframe no's along the way. And I reframe them in a way that's completely true. So right now, and again, in Worthy, there is, multi-hour long take you through process on how to do this in every area of your life. Because, and by the way, I haven't even mentioned this, Worthy, you can pre-order it now at worthybook.com. It comes out in a few months. When you pre-order, there's lots of bonuses and everything else to start implementing these tools into your life right now. So excited about it. 100% of the proceeds donated, so I don't sell anything on my site or anything else. But you can grab your book anywhere they're sold, and when you go to worthybook.com, you'll get a bunch of bonuses and all that. But here's the thing. When you learn how to do this, it is so powerful. So right now you picked one no from your past, and you wrote out the meaning you're attaching to it. And I want you to now think of that rejection or that no or that failure. And I want you to think, A, what have you learned from it? B, right, maybe it was a great lesson. Maybe it was that you learned, oh wow, something better is actually coming, a better opportunity, a better fit, a person that's more right for me, whatever it might be. And I want you to reframe that past no and that past rejection. Reframe it. So it could be like, oh wow, that was serendipitous grace, right? It could be like, oh, that rejection was protection. It could be that rejection's happening for me. Reframe that past no, because once you start doing that, you start associating less pain with no's and failure and rejection. And when you associate less pain with them, you get more resiliency toward them. That is one of the keys to getting unstuck. It's one of the keys to getting unstuck and just being fearless about going after, what you truly want, saying how you truly feel, being who you truly are. What if that no was just serendipitous grace, wrapped in a package labeled painful rejection? So I hope you love this video. I believe in you. I see you. I love you. You are worthy.